Yo, what's up, peoples? Mood 616 coming at you live with another entry in my top personal favorite 25 MCs of all time. And yo, coming in at number 23 on the list is a cat that I've been down with since day one. Can't say enough good things. Representing Chicago, Illinois. None other than used to be also known as Mr. Common Sense. Here's the debut. Can I borrow $1? Fantastic stuff. This album right here is what you call a very typical debut by somebody that really hadn't matured fully as an MC. This is a lot of fun though. I really like this album. It's got that typical 92 92 sound, that real classic sound to it. It's got some really cool cuts on here, man. I really like, Heidi Ho is really cool. Take It Easy. Penny for My Thoughts. He's got some really cool tracks, but it's an album that sounds like it was done by an MC that fully wasn't matured yet, and I think it's a great album though. Really good stuff. If you've never heard of this album by Common that he's known by now, definitely peep it out, man. It's really cool, really fun stuff. Got that old school awesome vibe to it. So it's Common Sense. Getting into a little bit of his sophomore album, which is strictly a bona fide classic, Resurrection. And this is a perfect example of an MC going from dropping an album that's not fully matured to an album that sounds like he's been doing it forever. Resurrection is just one of those records that's written beautifully, produced awesomely. It's got one of those really awesome, just strictly hip hop sounds. Just every hip hop head in the world should own this album. It's just fantastic stuff. I Used to Love Her is one of my favorite tracks ever. Just an ode to hip hop itself. Resurrection itself, the song is just one of my favorite all time tracks. Could never say enough good things about this. Resurrection, one of the best sophomore albums of all time. And then get into another really awesome record. I love this album. One Day It'll All Make Sense. Common just kept maturing, and just his sound was just awesome. Just really good stuff here. One of my favorite tracks on this album, Getting Down at the Amphitheater, featuring De La Soul, which is just a phenomenal group, and we'll get into them later. This album's got actually quite a few features on it. It's got CeeLo from Goody Mob. Black Thought was on here from The Roots, Q-Tip from Tribe. Cannabis was on a track, Making a Name for Ourselves, which I love that track. It's really cool stuff. That was very interesting to see Common and Cannabis doing tracks, back in 97, but this is definitely one of the better albums in 1997. 1997 is basically the year when hip-hop, in my opinion, started to fail. The mainstream sound became mainstream kind of shittiness, and I blame Puff Daddy for that, but there were still some really good albums in 97, 98, but this is definitely one of them, one of the best albums of that year. Just really great stuff, awesome stuff. And then getting into Common's next record, Like Water for Chocolate, and this album right here once again just came with the fatness. The Sixth Sense, produced by DJ Premier, just says it all on this record. The Light, awesome track. Everything on this record's awesome. Like Water for Chocolate, really good stuff. And this came out in 1999. I think it was late 99, 2000. It says, I think it was late 99, but good stuff right there. Another awesome release by Common. And then he gets into the fully produced Kanye West record, B. Now, when this album came out in, 2005, actually I'm missing the album before this one, which is Electric Circus. I actually just recently ordered it for really cheap. I never actually had a copy of it. I never really liked the album that much. It was an experimental record that sounded completely experimental. Like, I thought there was some pretty good songs on it. There were some songs I didn't like, but anyways, I never picked it up. But then next up was B, 2005 release, all produced by Kanye West. And Kanye West has been producing for years at this point. I've never liked Kanye West as an MC. I've always just thought he was too arrogant for my taste, but I have liked his production. I think this is probably his best produced album that Kanye West ever did. I mean, the beats on here are just phenomenal. Really good Kanye West stuff. The corner, go, testify. It's some of like most memorable beats. Probably one of the best releases of 2005. Common came again with another awesome, awesome record. Then he followed it up a couple years later with the produced Finding Forever. I can't even remember if Kanye West produced this record at all. But this album right here, I could never get into. There were some good tracks on it. I could not fully get into this record. It was definitely the biggest drop off for me with the Common releases. After a big string of awesome, almost flawless records in my opinion, and then to come out with Finding Forever, I believe Kanye West produced this record. I'm seriously just having brain aneurysms right now. I believe, yeah. So Kanye, this wasn't the second album that he produced for him. The beats compared to B were not up to par. I think this album just felt different to me. It felt odd. Wasn't fully feeling it. A lot of people love this record. It's not my favorite Common record, but I don't recommend it. But then again, some people do. And then we get on to basically a second experimental record by Common, Universal Mind Control. I think I hated every second of this album. I absolutely could not stand this album. But one of my favorite MCs of all time, and I picked it up anyways because whatever, it's Common. I thought I'd give an experimental album a chance. I usually always do, but this one I could not get into. I hated every minute of this record. And then this album right here didn't make my top 25 last year because I already had it done by the time the album came out, and I bought it and I didn't listen to it for like a month. I don't know why. I had it sit in the wrapper for like a month. I'm not sure why. I beat myself up over that now, but the Dreamer, the Believer, Common's release from last year. This album is fucking awesome. He came back with a blast with this record right here. I could never get enough of Ghetto Dreams with Nas, and apparently they're supposed to be doing a collabo record this year. We'll see. And apparently he's got another album coming out this year too. Good music apparently. So we'll see. The year's already a quarter over. We'll see. Some of these releases are actually going to start coming out. But I absolutely love this record. It's basically flawless until I would say the last couple tracks on the record. Not really my favorite, but I definitely give this album like a 4.5. It's awesome. Really, really good stuff. Common redeemed himself after those, in my opinion, a couple blunders in his discography, but most people do when you've been around for 20 years doing it, so I don't blame him. Still one of my favorite MCs of all time. This album is just top to bottom ridiculous. I mean, right to the end, it kind of falls off a little bit, but still really, really good stuff. And yeah, so that's Common at number 23. Everybody that's a hip-hop head knows who Common is. Definitely check out most of his records. I don't recommend, a couple of his albums, but for the most part, awesome discography. I keep wanting to say filmography. I don't know why. But it's Common at number 23. This is Mood 616. Thanks for watching and subscribing. I'll be coming back with just actually in a few minutes. I'll record the top number 23 in my groups, so stay tuned for that. Peace out.